friends, welcome back to another video, and if you're new, hi, my name's Paris. Today I'm going to be doing an April wrap up and a May TBR. In this video I'm not going to be adding a little haul at the beginning, because if you watch my videos regularly you'll know that I put a haul at the beginning of my wrap up and TBR videos of the books that I bought the previous month. But in April I bought a ridiculous amount of books, so I just made a whole entire video for it. So you can go up and click the iCard to watch that haul, and then you can go and see all the books that I bought in April. But today we're just going to be focusing on the books that I read in April and the books that I want to read in May. Except I have an exciting thing here. I got a notification today while I was at school and it said that there was a package coming in the mail, and that could have been a couple different things because I have some exciting things coming in the mail for you guys to see. But I was like, I think I know what book it is, and so I wanted to open it on camera and haul it, since I wasn't able to haul the physical copy in my haul video that I made. So here's the package, and I'm gonna open it, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is, and I'm really excited. So let's see. Here it is. So I have A Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I'm so excited to read this book. You guys have no idea. So if you don't know, I made a whole reading vlog for the first two books, From Blood and Ash and A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and that will be up in the iCard too if you want to go and watch that. And if you also don't know, From Blood and Ash is one of my favorite series, so I am so excited to read this book. This is the third book in the From Blood and Ash series, and yeah, a little spoiler for my TBR this month, but there is the one book that I'm hauling in this video. But yeah, if you want to see the rest of the books that I bought in April, you can go ahead and watch that on my channel, and you can see all of the books that I bought, because I bought an excessive amount, but it's okay. In chronological order, the first two books that I read are from the same series. So we have Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising from the Grishaverse Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I read them in my 24-hour readathon so that I could catch up for the Shadow and Bone TV show, and I also watched the Shadow and Bone TV show this month, and it was really good. I'm pretty sure I gave Siege and Storm 4 stars, and I gave Ruin and Rising 5 stars. Yeah, I gave Ruin and Rising 5 stars. I actually really liked this book. I'm not going to say too many of my thoughts here because obviously I have a whole reading vlog for that. But yeah, Siege and Storm was definitely better than Shadow and Bone in my opinion, and then Ruin and Rising got better. I am quite happy with how it ended, because if you've read it you know what happens. I know it's a little bit controversial with the whole shipping who with who moment, but I was quite happy with it. Also, for some reason the lighting is being weird when I'm like moving stuff around, if you can see that, and because the lighting is going away, I'm like quickly filming because, you know, the sun's going down. Obviously these are the next two books in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, so this is the second book and this is the third book, so I can't exactly tell you what they're about. However, I can tell you what the first book, Shadow and Bone, is about. So Shadow and Bone is based in kind of like a magical world where there are people who have powers, and they are called Grisha. We follow the main character Alina, who is a soldier in her army, and she is basically going towards this place in her country, the country of Ravka, and it is called the Shadowfold. The Shadowfold is like a swath of darkness that kind of separates the country of Ravka, and it's detrimental to the country because that is the only way that they can get like trading supplies and food and stuff like that, because above and below are countries that they're kind of at war with. However, in the Shadowfold we have these creatures. They're like big Volcra, and they're like flying demon things, so obviously it's really dangerous to go through the Shadowfold. So basically the beginning kind of plot, whole synopsis of the book is that Alina goes through the Shadowfold because she's in the army, she's a cartographer, and her best friend Mal is also on that ship, and so he is getting attacked by Volcra, and then all of a sudden she gets all defensive and she releases this like dormant power that she didn't know that she had, and then Alina gets whisked away into the, I'm pretty sure she gets whisked away into the Kingdom of Oz Atla, if I remember that correctly, and she basically goes and trains with all the Grisha, and then it just continues on from there. The next book that I read in April is for my book club. If you don't know, I host a book club called the Fair Folk Book Club. I feel like I've talked about my book club so much and I shout it out in like a lot of my videos. so I'm gonna quickly do it right now. So my book club is called the Folk Book Club over on Instagram and Discord. The link is in the description. So the April book club book of the month was These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I read this book and I gave it 3.5 stars. It was a good read, however it kind of didn't really live up to the hype / expectations. I don't know if it's because I prefer to read like fantasy medieval kingdom moment, and this is set in 1920 Shanghai, but I was slightly disappointed with it, but I am gonna read the sequel and see where it goes because this is Miss Chloe Gong's first ever book, so of course we can only get better from here. The beginning and middle was a bit slow, but it gradually picked up throughout the book, but yeah, it was still a good read and I still enjoyed it. These Violent Delights, if you don't know already, is a retelling on Romeo and Juliet, which is the original Shakespeare play. We are in 1920 Shanghai and we're following two separate gangs. They are obviously kind of like at war with each other. There's like a blood feud going on because obviously two gangs trying to rule one town, or one city rather. So we have Roma, who is the heir of the White Flowers gang, and then we have Juliet, who is the heir of the Scarlet gang. There is enemies to lovers in this book, if you didn't know already, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to read it in the first place. So two heirs to two rival gangs are forced to work with each other to get rid of this monster that is really causing chaos in Shanghai and causing a lot of people to die. So that is the whole premise of the book. So yeah, that was the next book that I read in April. The next book that I read in April was also for a reading vlog that I did, and carrying on with my Throne of Glass reading vlogs, we have Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas. I gave this book 5 stars. It was definitely my favorite book that I read this month. I'm not going to say too many thoughts here because I have a whole reading vlog and I have a discussion on there, but yeah, I really enjoyed revisiting all the characters again, and I'm really excited to read the third book. This is the second book in the Throne of Glass series, if you do not know, so I cannot tell you what it's about. However, I can tell you what Throne of Glass is. So Throne of Glass is the first book in the Throne of Glass series. It's up there on my shelf right there. So Throne of Glass follows our main character Selena. Selena is an assassin and she is serving a life sentence in the mines of Endovia for getting caught from doing, you know, assassin things, you know, killing people. And one day the captain of the guard, Kale Wistfall, comes up to her and plucks her out of the mines, and he says, hey, if you want to get out of the mines, I can offer you your freedom if you represent the prince in a tournament to determine the king's champion. So the king's champion is basically the person who's going to do the king's dirty work, like assassinations and stuff like that. And so basically it is left off there, and then we have to follow Selena through this competition that's going on, and there's also some magical elements in there, which is really fun. There's not much else I can say because again I already have a reading vlog and I can't spoil this book obviously, because it's the second book, so if I say kind of like anything vague about this book it might give away the first book. So yeah, that was the next book that I read in April. So we're going to be transitioning from books that I read in April to books that I'm going to be reading in May. I started this book in April, but I didn't have time to finish it because I was a bit busy with other things. And that book is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is a duology which is set in the same world as the Shadow and Bone trilogy, but we follow different characters and we're also set in a different setting. So it is quite fun and I'm really enjoying it so far. At the moment, I'm only 132 pages in. In this book, we follow the main character, Kaz Brecker, who is a criminal, and he is tasked with the impossible task of conducting a heist and trying to break into the ice court, which is basically impossible to break into. So he has to kind of gather some people to join his team and retrieve this hostage. And it sounds really fun, and it is really fun. I can say that since I've been reading it. The characters in this book are amazing. It is so diverse and I love everybody in the book. We have all different kinds of representation and it's just really good. I love it. I'm really excited to read it and finish it. First, I'm going to talk about my book club book of the month. So we are reading A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Camille. So this book is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I have kind of started reading it. I've read only a couple chapters. I started it today since it is the beginning of the month, but it is really good so far. Like, honestly, this is already to me looking like a 4 or 5 star book, and I've only read 20 pages. Like, the first few chapters are so gripping and they really pull you in. So like I said before, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and we follow 2 characters, Prince Ren and Harper. So Prince Ren is heir to the throne of Emberfall, and he is forced to repeat the autumn of his 18th birthday over and over again. He can only really be freed from this if a girl falls in love with him, you know, as the classic Beauty and the Beast kind of tale goes. And so the girl that we're following is Harper, who lives in Washington DC, and one day she somehow magically is whisked into the kingdom of Emberfall. The premise of this is basically there's something more than just breaking the curse that is going to save Emberfall. So that is really fun. Another thing that I'm really loving about this book, and I can't wait to read more about, is that our main character Harper has cerebral palsy, and I'm super happy that there is representation for cerebral palsy in books, because we often don't see characters with disabilities. So I'm really excited to read more about that. For the next book, you probably already guessed what I want to read, and that is The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Again, this is the 3rd book in the From Blood and Ash series, and I am super excited to read it. I'm honestly going to start this in the next, probably tonight or tomorrow. Like, seriously, I'm so excited to read this book. The ending of the 2nd book, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, we were left on such a big cliffhanger, and luckily I only read the series like a month before the 3rd book was meant to come out. I wasn't left with that cliffhanger for too long, but it felt too long. So I'm so happy that I have the 3rd book to read. If you don't know what the 1st book is about, From Blood and Ash follows our main character Poppy, and she is I don't know how to say this. She's kind of like a symbol in her kingdom. She is a maiden. There's only one maiden, and she is the symbol of kind of like purity. So she can't really experience anything fun or pleasurable. And so one day this guard comes along, duty bound to protect her, and his name is Hawk. And basically she is caught in duty and love, and also a fallen kingdom is rising up. And so there is chaos in the kingdom, and she is basically navigating through all of this stuff. And it just spirals on from there, and it gets really good. One of my favorite series again, and I'm so excited. I love the cover, and yeah, that's the next book that I want to read in May. Next, we have a book that is very loved, and I've seen it all over Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, and that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This book is about 2 boys in Greece in the Age of Heroes, and it's like a love story, and I'm really excited. So it's like a play on the story of Achilles or something like that. I'm not very savvy with Greek mythology, so I am interested to learn more about it though. Everyone has been telling me to read this book, and I feel like it is finally time. I'm ready to shed some tears. I'm possibly going to be doing a reading vlog for this video. I might have to schedule that in for this month, but it is quite a short book. It is only 352 pages. There is more on the back of this, but I know if I try and explain it, I'm gonna say things wrong, and I'm not really keen on butchering things right now, so I'm just gonna say that we have 2 boys in the Greece in the Age of Heroes, and it's a love story. One of them goes to war, I know that much. The other one wants to follow, I know that much, and I also know that lots of people cry during this book. So following on with my Throne of Glass reread, we have Heir of Fire by Sarah J Maas. This is the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series, and possibly my favourite cover-wise. Like, I love the illustrations of these books, they're just super pretty, and also the backs are awesome too, because it's like the front of her in kind of like battle attire, and then we turn it around and it's the back of her in like a pretty dress, and I think it's really cool. Obviously, 3rd book, once again, cannot tell you what it's about, and I already told you what the 1st book, Throne of Glass, is about, so there's not much else to say about this, except I will be filming a reading vlog for it, so you can watch out for that, and hopefully it will be out sometime within this month. I know my TBR is kind of seeming a little bit ambitious, and hopefully I can read a lot of books. I do have exams for school this month, so that means that I will be off school for around 2 weeks, because we go off school and then we go back into school to do our exam, and then we come home and we're only at school for our exam like time, and then we go back, and then once everyone's done exams the whole grade goes back to school. So that's kind of how it works. And so I'm hoping that during the time that I don't have exams, I can just read a bunch. So we have 2 books that I'm super excited to read about, and it's also on the adult side of the book community, so I'm a little bit excited. So we have A Touch of Darkness and A Touch of Ruin by Scarlett St. Clair. I have been trying to find these 2 books for the longest time, and I only just realized that a lot of the books that I want to read are like American productions, so I can only get them from America, so overseas. I hauled these in my last video, but I didn't have like the physical copies because they didn't come in the mail yet, but you know, here are the physical copies. So we have A Touch of Darkness, which is the first book, and then we have A Touch of Ruin, which is the second book. This is also a series that kind of plays on mythology because we have Persephone and Hades in a little steamy, spicy relationship moment. Fun times. I think it's in like modern day. It's something about Persephone's trying to live a normal life and Hades runs a gambling den. They make a bet. Then I think Persephone has to go into the underworld to create a life or lose her freedom or something like that. And then the bet exposes more about Persephone than she wants to let on or something like that. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know too much about this. All I know is that it's Persephone and Hades. It's spicy, it's steamy, and everyone was raving about it, and so I said add to cart. They're here now, and I'm really excited to read them. And yeah, those are all the books that I want to read in May. She really said ambitious. I want to read 7 books this month. I also wanted to put Crooked Kingdom on my list because if I really like Six of Crows, I'm gonna want to read the second book, but we'll see how it goes. Because 7 books is a lot of books for me because I only read like 4 books last month. So yeah, those are all the books that I read in April and all the books that I want to read in May. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Also, for my upload schedule, I've been thinking of trying to upload 2 videos a week. I know that's a little bit ambitious, but I just feel like I film a lot of reading vlogs, and although those are fun, I don't want reading vlogs to be like the only content that I have on my channel. I want to do other things like clothing hauls and DIYs and like room decor things and, you know, other things other than just like reading vlogs and buying more books and hauling them. So I think that filming and uploading 2 videos a week is better because I can do like a reading vlog and then also like a fun video. Obviously I'm not going to be too strict on myself because I don't want to put extra pressure and make this channel into a chore. I want it to be a fun thing. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process. Let me know what you think. If you have any video ideas / things that you want to see, comment them down below and I'll put them into consideration. I know a lot of people have been asking for clothing hauls / kind of like a lookbook, cottagecore, fairycore moment, and it is coming, but at the moment I'm still developing my own style. I don't want to kind of film a video now and then in like a week I'll have new clothes because I'm currently in the process of going op shopping / thrift shopping. All the links for everything, Goodreads, Instagram, Amazon wishlist, stuff like that is all in the description, by the way. So that is all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you on my next video, friends. Bye!